Welcome to another episode of Do You Remember? Today we will be looking back at 10 cartoons based on video games that lasted one season to pilot episode. Some only made it to the pilot stage, while others overstayed their welcome a little too long for the audience it was intended for. Number 10. Bubsy Bobcat. Based on the popular video game franchise Bubsy, created by Michael Berlin and developed by Accolade, it was adapted into a cartoon, although this was just a pilot episode. The episode title, What Could Possibly Go Wrong?, features Bubsy, who chooses to become a test subject for virtual reality's newest invention. Whilst distracted, his twin cousins run off with the reality-bending helmet, allowing for ally Cassandra's henchmen to kidnap them and claim the item. Bubsy and his friends quickly catch on and pursue the criminals. Bubsy's original creator, Michael Berlin, had left Accolade around this time and wasn't directly involved with the project, except for the creation of some of the characters used, like Oblivia. The episode aired on November 28, 1993, at 7 a.m. on Fox 53, and a slightly altered version was included on Super Bubsy as an Easter egg. Number 9. Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot was at one point being developed into a cartoon series in the vein of Tasmania. As you can see from the character design, both characters had spin attacks and shared a distinctive look. From what we can see from the test footage that was uploaded to the internet by the game's producer, both had near identical intros. The series was to be produced by Universal Animation. From what we could tell, this seems to be early development stages of the IP. The game's producer David Siller was quoted as saying that the plan was for the animated scenes to be source material for a full animated series, provided the game was successful and well-received. Then Sony got involved and licensed the game, and didn't want the animated scenes because they were heavily pushing the 3D agenda. But in the case of Crash Bandicoot, second time's the charm, as yet again another rumor surfaced that Crash Bandicoot was being developed into a cartoon series, but this time by Amazon. So what went wrong? According to sources working on the show, it was abruptly cancelled, without warning, due to a disagreement between Activision, Amazon, and the studio that was heading the show, based in India. Activision was going back and forth about the show's scripts, demanding some things to be changed or adjusted. The source described it as having a few executives in the game and development department having control over what is greenlit for the production. This broke the camel's back with an episode involving Baby Cortex, named What a Baby. It was also mentioned that Amazon aimed for the show to be more kid-friendly, as opposed to Activision's direction to have it be adult gross-out humor. In addition, the relationship between Activision and Netflix was described as ruined during the run of Skylanders Academy, as well as the recent poaching lawsuit for the CFO. This rippled out to other companies rejecting the show, from Disney+, HBO Max, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Quibi were all the examples mentioned, and the source said they had no idea why until they have heard about the stories of people describing said relationship with Netflix, thus leading them to not even get in talks with Activision about the Crash show. Number 8. Rayman. Rayman, the animated series, also known as Rayman, the TV series, or just Rayman, is a series of animated short films created by Ubisoft in 1999, based on the Rayman video game series, following the success of Rayman 2, The Great Escape. It was meant to be a series of 26 episodes with a projected release during the fall of 2000, but only 4 were completed when it was cancelled mid-series, leaving a 5th episode near to completion. The series was only broadcast in France, Germany, and the Netherlands, but was released on VHS in North America and additionally on DVD in France prior to the TV airing. Number 7. Battletoads. Battletoads spun off a half-hour animated television special produced by DIC Animation City in an attempt to capitalize on the popularity of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. DIC would try this again later on when producing Street Sharks and Extreme Dinosaurs. Intended as the pilot for a full-fledged series, the special was syndicated by Bobot Entertainment in the United States on the weekend of Thanksgiving 1992 as part of their Kids' Day Off package. It was never picked up for a series, however, despite comic-style ads in GamePro magazine claiming otherwise. Buena Vista Home Video released the pilot on VHS in January 1994. It received an official YouTube release on August 5, 2014, on a YouTube channel run by the Canadian company DHX Media, now Wild Brain. which currently owns the rights to most of DIC's cartoon library. The story served as a prequel to the video game franchise. Set in Oxnard, California, it stars 3 junior high schoolers. The trio is given the ability to transform into anthropomorphic toads with superhuman strength and the ability to change their arms and legs into weapons in techniques called smash hits. They are charged with protecting Professor T, Bird, and Princess Angelica from the Dark Queen, who wants to steal Angelica's magical amulet for her plans of universal conquest. The cartoon was adapted and written by David Wise, no relation to the Battletoads video game's composer of the same name. A comic with the backstory of Battletoads, written by Rare employee Guy Miller, was also published in Nintendo Power. Number 6. Dragon's Lair. Based on the 1983 video game of the same name, the series chronicles the adventures of Dirk the Daring, who is the best knight in the kingdom of King Ethelred. Dirk performs all sorts of great deeds while protecting the kingdom and his love princess Daphne from the forces of the evil dragon Singe. In his adventures, there are several original characters like his stallion Bertram, his squire Timothy, and arrogant knight Sir Hubert Blunt, who is Dirk the Daring's rival. Before each commercial break, Dirk the Daring faces a cliffhanger situation. In keeping with the spirit of the game, the storyteller narrates Dirk's options and asks the viewer, "What would you do?" After the commercial break, the outcomes of the various choices were shown before Dirk acts on the correct idea, with the occasional exception, to advance the story. Several enemies from the original game also make their appearance as adversaries: the Lizard King, the Phantom Knight, the Smithy, the Giddy Goons, and the Mud Men. In the episode The Legend of the Giant's Name, an Ardu giant awakened by Singe forces Dirk to find his way out of an enchanted cave, which gradually transforms him into a skeleton, much like the death animations of the game. 13 half-hour episodes were produced and aired from September 8, 1984 to April 20, 1985 on ABC. Number 5. Tak and the Power of Juju. Tak and the Power of Juju is an American animated television series that aired for one season from August 31, 2007 to January 24, 2009. Loosely based on the 2003 video game of the same name, the show consists of 2 11-minute stories per half-hour episode. It was co-produced by THQ and Nickelodeon. The series was produced by Nick Jennings and directed, among others, by Mark Risley, Jim Schumann, and Heiko Drengenberg. It was the second CGI Nickelodeon series after the adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, and is also the first one to be directly overseen by the studio. The show lasted one season and ran from 2007 to 2009. Number 4. Ape Escape is a series of animated shorts developed by Frederator Studios, Hawaii Film Partners, Project 51 Productions, and Showcase Entertainment, which aired on Nicktoons in 2009. It is based on Sony Computer Entertainment's Ape Escape video game franchise, with characters and designs based on Ape Escape 2 in particular, and focuses around Spectre's attempts to take over the world with his monkey army. Frederator obtained the cartoon rights to Ape Escape on May 31, 2007. Various talents were brought in to help, including Doug Tennippel. With Jimmy as the protagonist, the animations are primarily animated using Adobe Flash. The shorts were completed in 2008 and premiered on Nicktoons on July 5, 2009. The shorts were released on DVD in the United Kingdom by Lionsgate Home Entertainment on February 18, 2013. Number 3. Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog is a comical, lighthearted, and gag-driven adventure series based on the titular character Sonic the Hedgehog, an arrogant and mischievous yet kind-hearted teenage hedgehog with the power to move at supersonic speeds. Sonic, along with his idolizing young friend Tails, regularly oppose the main antagonist, Dr. Robotnik, his robot henchmen Scratch, Grounder, and Coconuts, and thwart their plans to conquer their home planet of Mobius. The series features a short PSA segment titled Sonic Says at the end of each episode, excluding Sonic Christmas Blast. These segments were written by Phil Harnage. The show ran for one season and 65 episodes. Number 2. The Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3 is an American animated television series. It premiered on September 8, 1990 on NBC. It is the second animated series to be based on Nintendo's Mario video game series and is loosely based on the video game Super Mario Bros. 3. The animation was provided by Sei Young Animation. Unlike its predecessor, the series dropped the use of live-action segments. Wart's minions and King Koopa's alter egos featured an entirely new cast, with the exceptions of John Stalker and Harvey Akin, who reprised their respective roles as Toad and King Koopa, established a level of continuity in stories, and introduced a set of characters called the Koopalings, based upon the same characters from the Mario games but with different names. Episodes were divided into 2 segments of around 11 minutes each, always opened by a title card featuring world map footage taken from Super Mario Bros. 3 and often featured the use of power-ups and other elements from the game. Number 1. Defenders of Dynatron City is a video game released for the Nintendo Entertainment System by JVC Musical Industries and Lucasfilm Games, later LucasArts. In August 1992, it was supported by a short-lived media franchise consisting of an animated TV pilot which was produced by DIC Animation City and was aired on the Fox Kids block on February 22, 1992. It featured the voices of Whoopi Goldberg and Tim Curry. Originally, Dr. Mayhem was voiced by Christopher Walken. Steve Purcell recalled that the producers at the last minute replaced him with a more cartoony voice. It failed to be picked up as a series, but was subsequently released on VHS.